What is up, YouTube? Welcome back for more BT10 stuff. This time we're talking about Xross Heart. In my opinion, basically what is going to end up being like the best deck of the format. This deck is so fast. It protects everything. It checks your security really quick. It just really goes hard on what the deck can do. So we're going to go over my personal build for the deck, and a couple of, as you can obviously see at the top, a couple of personal tech choices. So the babies, obviously, for Pikmon, when you attack, draw one. When it has Xross Heart, obviously, we are trying to swing quickly, start saving everything we have, and just go so that we can pop our X4s and X5s on the table quickly. Got 4 Sparamon. This one's going to be our most common for the deck. It gives Shoutmon and Mervamon reboot. It also gives Digimon Tamers plus 3000. It saves. So everything in the deck, now that we have Xross Heart, are going to do what's called saving. As you can see, on deletion, you may place this card under one of your Tamers. Now that's a huge thing that's about to start with this for Xross Heart, and we're going to be seeing Xross Heart at least through BT12. I can openly tell you guys that because from the previews of the name, we're getting the time-traveling arc from the fusions, if I remember right. It's been forever since I've watched it. But BT10 was this. BT11 is hugely based on Digimon World 3, I think. Digimon World 3 with one of the secret rares, but as well as more and more Xross Heart. So they are going to at least be doing BT10 through BT12 as Xross Heart. So buckle in for a real long meta here, guys. So we're going to skip my tech option for just a quick second. Then we've got 4 of our main searcher. The Shoutmon, it gives rush to any of your X4s and X5s. It's big needed. And then it's a searcher as well. So then we have 3 of the Starmon. He is just there for name. He also gives draw 1 when swinging if it has Shoutmon in its name. We are playing 4 of the Ballistamon. This one, during the opponent's turn, while you have another Digimon or Tamer with Xross Heart, gains blocker. So, but the big thing is, most of the time these guys are not going to be swinging or doing things on their own. These are here to die, and then just to be bring back for Shoutmon, like the big Shoutmon X4s and X5s. So this one also gives piercing. So when you have like all of this, because then you've got Darulamon, it has Shoutmon, it gets minus 2000 on one of your or all of your opponent's security Digimon minus 2000. When you have your Starmon, your Darulamon, your Ballistamon, and your Shoutmon underneath this, you have Rush, Draw 1, Piercing, and minus 2k on all of their security Digimon. Like, this is insane. And how fast you can put it out. Because this dude, if you put all 4 underneath, comes out for a cost of 1. It's kind of cracked how this deck works. Then you have 1 copy of the secret rare from BT10, Shoutmon King version. I think a 1 of this card is really good. You can also play this at 2, depending on your deck choice, like your options. He has material save. When this Digimon would be destroyed, you can place 1 of its evolution sources as the Digimon's cross underneath your Tamer. His name is always Shoutmon. On play, you can return a card with cross requirements from your trash to your hand, and it also has this right here for Shoutmon. It gets plus 2k. So you turn things like these into like 2ks, like or 10ks. It's really dumb because he is also treated as Shoutmon. So you can, for stuff like this, for Shoutmon X4, you can completely ignore the King version, because then you just put him underneath. He's going to lose his rush, to be honest with you. But then he gets 2k, piercing, draw 1. Like, that's why we're only playing the 1 of for here, though. Like, he's still really, really good. Then we're going to go back to my tech choice, Psychmon. One of this deck's biggest weaknesses, hands down, is Death X. Dexmon. Dexmon can honestly single-handedly win a game against this deck if it's dropped at the right time. So, for personal tech choice, we are going to try to keep Psychmon. As soon as we've made one of our big plays, getting like 3 and 4 Tamers on the table, with some Digimon underneath our Tamers, where our opponent knows we're about to set up big plays next turn, because you can drop, like, 2 of these plus 1 of this, like, in a turn, and clear your opponent's security, like, by turn, like, 2 and 3. The deck is so stinking fast, guys, it's not even funny. Where, at that point, you can easily drop Psychmon past turn at that point, setting yourself up for the Shoutmon the next turn, and your opponent at that point has to search for options to out the Psychmon as well as dropping the Death Xmon. Now, there's a lot of decks that can do that really easily, but we're also making our opponent use resources to do so, because this, all turns, players can't reduce play costs. Death X reduces play cost of itself to play itself, and we need to stop Death X as much as possible in this deck. Now we have Shoutmon X4, like, basically, he's the biggest attacker in the deck. You have Material Save. When it would be deleted, you can place 2 of its Digivolution cards underneath your Tamers. On play, you get to draw 2 for free. At the end of attack, you can place all of its underneath one of your Tamers, like, which means you swing, end of attack, place them under Tamers, like one of your unsuspended Tamers. Suspend either Taiki or Kiriha, and then you just do it again. You suspend Kiriha or Taiki, and immediately play the Shoutmon again, rush, piercing, everything. And you're set up so hard. Then you have Darulamon, which is a big part of Shoutmon. It's minusing 3,000 on one of your opponent's Digimon on play, which we are going to be on-playing these pretty hard since we're going to be playing 4 of the Akari. Then we have 4 Shoutmon X5. This card's absolutely nuts because it gets Security Attack +1, Blocker, Material Save 3, and if you have all 4 or all 5 underneath, you literally play it for a 2 cost. It's so nuts what this deck can do, because it basically hard plays everything and doesn't care. Then we have 2 Death X, because honestly, in the mirror match, you need Death X, and this card is insane. There's so many people that are like, oh, ban Death X. I don't think Death X will ever get nuked, because, like, banned or, like, limited, anything, like, maybe limited. But, like, I truly don't think this card is ever going to get banned, because, like, the only people complaining about this card are people that don't know how to play around this card, or people that just think it's overpowered, when the deck, like this card, helps people out decks. It's one of those cards that sometimes there's better options than to play Death X. I play 1 to 2 of it in my Gaiomon in competitive, and there's been multiple times where, like, I've had it in hand, but a better play has been in hand. So, sure, Death X is absolutely amazing for what he does. But is he absolutely broken? In my personal opinion, I don't think so. Now, other people could say different. Everybody's opinion is going to be different, though. Now, we are playing 4 copies of Sunrise Buster. Because we do play Shoutmon, we are playing reds, yellows, red, red, yellow, yellow, red Tamers, yellow Tamers. Like, we want to put this on table because it is a huge option to where you get to play a red or yellow Tamer, and then immediately, like, remove 3k DPE for the turn for each red or yellow Tamer you have in play. For one of your opponent's Digimon. So, like, if you already have 2 of this and 1 of this, play 1 more, you have 4, you're removing 12k off of one of your opponent's Digimon, basically just removing any level 5, almost any level 6 in the game from the table, just from this Sunrise Buster. There's so much that this card does, it's absolutely insane. Then we're playing 3 Kiriha. This card is your memory tamer. It also, when you would play a Digimon with Digicross, you can suspend him and place cards from under your tamers as Digivolution cards, which is huge for this deck. Taiki does the exact same, but Taiki is also a searcher, revealing top 4, add 1 card with cross, and then add 1 card with cross in its traits under this tamer, returning the others. So it's the same thing, like, they work the exact same way, where you suspend it, put your Digimon underneath your tamers, underneath your Xross Heart to play them, instead of having to play them on the table as Xross Heart materials. These are what you're requiring, or, like, using for those. Then we have 3 Zenjiro. You can play a Ballistamon for free, which, if you have here 3, he's a 4 cost, which is much better. It's You're just trying to put your bodies on the table as fast as possible. Then when you play Digimon Xross Heart and its traits, you can suspend him to gain one. So you can easily play him, play this, suspend him immediately, and just basically he's a 2-cost, and you're playing a 4-cost for a 2-cost to put a body on the table. Similar thing here, you play a Darulomon for a 3-cost instead of, I think she's a 5-cost? 4-cost. Sorry, guys. I couldn't remember what Darulomon was. Then you have, when you play a Digimon Xross Heart and its traits, you can suspend it to draw one. The consistency in this deck is absolutely insane for what it does, and this is going to be the top deck for the next at least 2 to 3 formats. Until a new ban list or something maybe hits Sunrise Buster to 1, or even 2 here, maybe puts Shoutmon X4 to 2. We're gonna see this deck really being like the meta deck for the next 2 to 3 formats. Now, I will also say one other option you can play, or tamer you can play in this deck that's really good. You can also play the BT1 tie, to where at that point you also gain security attack +1 when you're having so many materials, which, because you're having 4 materials underneath this, he's going to gain security attack +1 as well. I couldn't find the room for it. You could honestly drop 1 Death X, possibly 1 Psychmon, and be able to play it there. Maybe drop 1 Akari and a Death X, play 2 tie. It's completely up to you. This deck is very open and interchangeable, except like the main things like Sparamon, Shoutmon, Starmons, things like that you have to play to be able to play your X4s and your X5s. So that's honestly the deck profile, guys. Let me know what you guys think down below. If you guys have any ideas for the deck, I truthfully have not played the deck personally. I have played against the deck personally a ton. I have tested against the deck personally a ton. This deck hurts a lot with how fast it is. Again, and it's also a very cheap deck to build. Like, even with Shoutmon King version, if you remove Death Xmon, these are rares. Like, these are all rares and uncommons. Everything is uncommon, common, common, rare, uncommon. This is only here because it's an alt art, but there are rare versions. Like, the entire deck, other than Death X, is insanely cheap to build. It's a tier 1 meta deck, and it is going to probably, other than Death X and Shoutmon King, you could truthfully probably play this deck for $20. That's not even a joke. At lowest rarity, you could play this deck for $20. Now, playing this version when Death Xmons are $60 piece-ish, and this King version will probably be like $30. At that point, sure, you're looking at spending a lot more. But if you just want to play the base version, drop both of these for BT1 ties if you have them. BT1 ties are even like $10 piece, so at that point you're spending $40 on the deck. Even at this point, you drop this Shoutmon King version, play 1 more Starmon. For the lowest rarity version, you spend $40 for a tier 1 meta deck. So, if you guys are looking to play budget, but you are also looking to play meta, keep an eye on this deck, because this is going to be the most budget-friendly, and it says 206 up here, because it's counting in these alt arts, secret rares, because it really is going to be the cheapest meta deck probably the game has ever seen, other than Rookie Rush. And I can understand that. Those were literally all commons. But guys, let me know what you guys think down below. Please make sure we're hitting that thumbs up. Make sure we're hitting those sub buttons. Let me know when you guys are loving the videos, and I will catch you guys later. Peace, guys.